What's guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're reacting to the penultimate episode of Shadow's House. This one's titled To Lord Grandfather's Wing. So yes, we're going to be finally going there and attempting to rescue Emilico, who has been taken by one of the, what are they called? I've forgotten their names already. One of the maids that is, I forget what they're called. I forget what the maids are called, like the, what Shirley ended up being. I forget what they're called. I genuinely forget what they ended up being. Where is it? Is it not listed here somewhere? Are they called the Faceless? I think they might be called the Faceless or something along those lines. Anyway, one of the Faceless dolls or whatever that have been like taking care of the living dolls and stuff like that has taken Emilico away. And based on the little bit of information we have, it seems as though, and our characters are convinced, that it was actually Edward in disguise, because they saw his characteristic trousers sticking out underneath it, and it's a very recognizable pattern to his. And although we hear a female voice, I think, talking to Emilico during all of that, we also see, as they're speaking, like waves and almost like sound patterns coming out. My hypothesis based on that, well, first of all, I was thinking, is it meant to be like a brainwashing technique? That's kind of where I was like at in the episode. But then in the discussion afterwards, I was like, okay, if it actually is Edward, is that his voice changing? Like, is that him using his soot power to change his voice to suit whatever he wants it to be? And is he like impersonating one of the other members of Shadow's house? Since he has an affinity with music based on his special ED that we got, and like him playing the piano during that episode. It would make sense that his soot power has something to do with musicality as well, and therefore maybe voice changing and manipulation of sound might be part of it. It's entirely possible that it could just be a separate character, but fairly certain based on the hairstyle as well, it was also Edward's hairstyle that we saw in the silhouette, so almost certainly it was him, and is probably using like voice changing through his soot power and such like that. So that's where my mind's at right now. And then, so yeah, we actually managed to break Emilico out of her brainwashing. We've managed to break Sean out of his brainwashing. Yes, Sean. I've got to remember, John's the master, Sean's the doll. So Sean's been broken out as well. We have not told Louise or Patrick about this phenomenon, or at least we did not explicitly mention it in our conversations with them. We led with, Emilico is missing, we must help Emilico. That was all of it. And their general distrust and dislike of Edward has banded them together, and that's kind of got them on a common goal. So, Lou and Ricky are still under the influence of the dark drink. Whether they're actually going to tell them how to get them out or not, I don't know. It would basically be the end of Lou and Ricky's characters if they don't. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens, but Kate is very careful with what information she shares. I think she very much trusts John so far, out of them. Probably doesn't trust Louise and Patrick as much, which is fair. She hasn't had as much interactions with them and hasn't got as much reason to, I guess, trust them. I think she probably would have told, if they had survived, I think she would have told Shirley and then helped out Rum if they had actually managed to make it through or not. And Shirley is meant to be... No, yes, Shirley's gone, and Rum is meant to be one of the Faceless now, right? As far as I'm aware. So that's going to be interesting, but I'm kind of curious how that works, because surely she'd be quite recognizable, because she'd be one of like the shortest Faceless out there. Like, that would... Like, that's where my mind would go. So I was like, surely it'd be recognizable, or do they, like... Is she now in training to be a Faceless and has to grow up physically first, or not? I don't know. But we do get the confirmation that the living dolls are just humans that have been brainwashed by the dark drink to forget their past history and to think, I only serve Shadow's house, and that's when the real Shadow Master forms go in and mimic the form, try to form a personality, and try to bond with their doll, and then eventually take them over as well. That's where that all kicks off, so we've got a very good understanding now. The main mystery to me, why does Kate know so much? And why is she so against all of it? Like, I guess, like, moralistically, it's like, it feels like it's wrong to do this. But there's got to be more to it than that. And what is Lord Grandfather's overall plan with all this? Like, what's wrong with the existence as whatever they were beforehand? Why do they need to go through this practice of obtaining a body? What for? Like, there's got to be an end goal for it. It's not just like, oh, so we can have bodies and do things. It's like, yes, that's nice, but does it allow them stuff beyond that? I don't know. I don't know what purpose they need the bodies for. That's where I think the mystery is now shifted. It's not a mystery of who are the shadows and what and how they exist. We kind of know the mechanics of it all. Now it's a case of why do they exist, and Lord Grandfather's going to be a key piece in that. So I'm very excited. But we're going to go save Emilico, I guess, this episode, or at least attempt to. Whether it'll go well or not, I guess we'll see, because the finale is next week. But yeah, finale next week is going to be interesting because, well, next season has started by that point, and I think most of the Sunday shows actually start on the 4th. Or they air on the 3rd, obviously, but I upload on the 4th. So, yeah, that might be a bit of a problem. We'll see what happens. My schedule is obviously a mess already, but we'll see what happens with regards to that. But I'll try and get this completed as soon as possible, and hopefully not get too bogged down on older shows as well. But just hope, really, with that one. But anyway, we're going to load the episode up here. As per usual, these are time-based format actions here on YouTube. If you want to see the full picture in pitch, you can go to my Patreon down in the description below. £4 a month gives you access to all picture in pitch reactions I do on the channel, which is everything from the current seasonal lineup, as well as Patreon request shows such as World Trigger, Civica G, and Lord Crisis Season 2. We also have movie reactions. Pancreas will be coming at some point in the future. I'm not going to put a date on it now because I genuinely do not know when I'll have time to do it. Maybe Wednesday. That would make the most sense to me in order to do it, but like I said, we will see what happens with regards to my schedule. Because I actually have a busy day Wednesday as well, now I think about it. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. But here on YouTube, we do time-based, so bottom left of the screen, you'll see a time for the episode. I count down 3, 2, 1, play. Then on play side episode, I side episode, and we should be in sync. We'll watch this one on Funimation as per usual, since they're the ones who licensed it. We have the Aniplex logo to start with, and then the Funimation logo, so it's about 12 seconds logos, give or take. I'll call them out as I go past, but you can also see a screen flash on my face, the mic, or this part of my headset to tell when the scenes are transitioning. And if you're wondering why I'm plugged in, it's because I think the battery on this headset is kind of screwed, so I'm plugged in just to make sure I don't have any issues during my recordings, and then I'll do some testing and stuff afterwards to make sure, can it work on battery alone? How long will it last? Things like that. So if you have recommendations on a new wireless headset as well, please let me know. I spoke more about it on Negator, and I'll speak more on Discord about it later. Anyway, with all that said, let's get into the penultimate episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Aniplex. Funimation. Cheers. Here we go. Straight into OP. Alright, here we go. To Lord Grandfather's wing. There's a Milico. I mean, it's quite clearly Edward's hair and head, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Miko has no idea, and will never row, obviously. Yeah. You think you will? Miko genuinely does not know anything, though. That's the thing. Hmm. I mean, yeah. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Veil dolls, that's what they're called. We're gonna disguise ourselves? We're gonna disguise ourselves as veil dolls, aren't we? Mm-hmm. And that would. Yep. God damn. You can't fight against this. Uh. You can't. You can't. Yep. You sure about that? Mm. Right. That's true. Unless. Hmm. If any one of us had a soot power that would allow communication like that. Okay. So all this is just available in books, apparently. Mm-hmm. So definitely not top floor. Chance of moving up at least. How are we gonna do that as well? Yeah. Who is it? Oh boy. Oh boy. Right. Mm-hmm. No, that'll make too much noise. Why can't we just go out through the? Huh? Okay. Okay. Ah. Can control dolls. It's pretty clever. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Oh yeah, because they did say that, didn't they? I think earlier. Hmm. Hmm. Hey, that's all it took to break him? Okay, that was easy. That was very easy. I didn't expect him to snap out of it that quick, so it's only Lou that's left now to snap out. Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, and hers just broke out of nowhere. Okay. Wonder what it was that broke that. They were fooled at least. Mm-hmm. What was that broke those two then? Yeah. Hmm. We're gonna let them know. That means he must at least be on the second floor. If he's aiming for the third floor, it seems reasonable that he'd be on the second, because he'd be aiming for the second floor if he wasn't already there. Oh right, yes. The don't bungle this. Okay, haven't had bungle in a while. Mm-hmm. Just gonna let her in or not? Yep. Okay. First hurdle cleared. That's true. What was that little term for? Hmm. What do you know is out of nowhere? I am suspicious. Infuse it with the soot afterwards, I think. Open door. That's ominous. Sure. Sure. Hmm. Ouch. Hmm. No, I think Kate was already down that path for some reason. Uh, What was that? There's a lock on it. With a chain. Hmm. Hmm. Suspicious. Wait. Go back to that. I got a feeling that was like meant to be like what are they called? Do they call them morphs? Is that what they call them? I forget. Hmm. I think that was meant to be Shirley again. Oh shit. Well, you broke the fine china. Hmm. I mean, she can't. She's blindfolded. Possibly. So if it wasn't Kate knocking on the door, who was knocking? Oh, it's these two. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could you use that to cut the? Okay, got the eye down. Mm-hmm. Did she hear it? Not yet. That's natural. Mm-hmm. They're not stupid. They know exactly what would happen. Oh no! It's don't tell me it's Edward impersonating the voice. Don't tell me it's Edward impersonating the voice. Hmm. No. Wait. No, it isn't. I don't feel good about this because this. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. There he is, and we're gonna end it on that. We're gonna end it on that. God damn it! I was not expecting Emilico to actually be there. I really wasn't. But I guess I was right. It was him impersonating because she had the gag and stuff in her mouth, so he was impersonating her voice as well. For a minute, I was scared, like, his impersonating voices could also be appearances, but I don't think it's that bad. That would be an incredibly powerful sort of power to manipulate your own form and impersonate another. That would be incredibly powerful. I don't know if it would be possible, because you'd still be bound to the appearance of the living doll that you kind of made your kind of contract with. Whoops. It's not really a contract you've made with them, but you get what I mean. So being able to manipulate and change your form based on that, I don't know if it would be possible. Especially once you've taken over a living doll. Maybe there is such a power available, I guess we'll see. But there is one mystery I need to go back to here. Alright. Final episode. For the sake of the Shadows family. Alright. Again, for the sake of the family? Well, Edward feels like he's doing this for the sake of the family, I suppose. He's trying to get up there because he feels like Lord Grandfather's being threatened by those around him. So I think Edward is meant to be like this villain to our characters, but ultimately is trying to do something about what he perceives to be a greater threat to the Shadow family, and that's those that are around Lord Grandfather currently on the 3rd floor. I think that's where they're trying to go with his character. I'm not 100% certain, though. But I think that's the general idea of what they're trying to do with his character as a whole. I don't think he's just pure antagonist against us. He wants to know what Kate... Like, I'm curious as to what Kate knows at this point, because how does she know... How does she know what's going on, and what is her plan about it? Because she knows a lot, and I can't just believe that it's just in the books that are there, like... Because then anyone could have read it, and like any of the Shadow Masters could learn of this, and I don't think that's possible. Like, stuff like the Tears of the Grandfather's Wing and stuff, I feel like that would be interesting knowledge to give to the dolls, so that they're aware of their... not to the dolls, to the Shadow Masters, to be aware of their ambitions and stuff like that, but... I don't know about all the other stuff that seems to be going on, because Kate has been hiding stuff and been wary of Edward and the rest of the Shadow Masters for a long time. Like, pre-debut, so that's why I'm like, you know, what's going on there, but... Anyway, I wanted to go back to, when was it? About 18 minutes in, right? Yes, 18 minutes in. Go about 1812 and see if that's close enough. So yeah, 1812, there is a... Whatever they call these things, the forms before they become the Shadow Masters. I think they call them morphs or something. I do not remember what they call them. Or if they even gave them a name last time out. But wherever they are, we see one run past, and it has this characteristic little bow on it. And as far as I'm aware, I feel like I've seen that bow before. I don't know if it was... Let me just look. Where's Shirley? Shirley from Shadow's house. The images. Because, like, Shirley had the flower, right? Not the... Well, no, actually, no. I take that back. Normally, Shirley has, like, the flower in the hair, right? But also had the little bow on the finger. And just like how Rum had the black one, she had, like, the white-ish one. And that looks to be the exact same bow that is on this morph. So, is this meant to be Shirley's morph? Because if so, that speaks to the fact that, well, if a Shadow Master does fail and they are disposed of in whatever way, they can still come back in some way? Because that's what's really interesting me now. It looks like Shirley as a character might not be done. Either that, or it's just a morph that happened to find Shirley's thing, but I kind of want to go back to Shirley's death scene now. just to see what happens there. Actually, no, I'm not gonna waste too much time on that, but yeah, that just has me questioning it, right? That has me questioning that, because I feel like that's meant to be Shirley's morph. But how can it be if she's a failed personality that dissolves during the debut? How can she be here then? I just want to see again. Let's have a look, better look, because like yeah, pokes heads out round and follows. I don't think the hair's correct though for it to be Shirley either. Let me pull the Shirley images back up again. Was it the right hair? It wasn't really the same style for Shirley. Well, again, Shirley's hairstyle is a bit of a mess, so it's kind of hard to say. And again, the fact that it's the little bow, not her flower, has me doubting whether that's actually the case. But it is the same little bow that's on her finger and what Rum shared on her finger, so that's why I think it is Shirley. But it's very interesting you add that now. Like, why add that little tidbit now? Because I don't think you have time next episode to explain that. They must be confident of a sequel or something, or they must be confident that they've done enough to get people to read the manga, I guess. Although apparently, like, this has deviated from the manga in some sense. I don't know if that specific part is a deviation from the source material or not, but yeah, that has me very, very curious. It must be said, and yeah, as soon as Kate was coming to get Minako and like it was like shouting out, and I was like, oh wait, Edward can mimic voices, and then as soon as I saw her tied up, I was like, but she was free. She's been retied up. Therefore, who shouted? It was Edward. Goddamn. This show is doing very, very well. I'm curious what this finale is. I'm curious as to what is up with Kate. I feel like we're going to finally find out now what's going on with Kate. But we do also have what I am assuming is Shirley's whatever they're called. I'm just saying morph just because it's an easy word for me to remember, and for some reason I've remembered it as morph, so we're going to call them morphs. I get the feeling that is meant to be Shirley in some aspect, which would imply that there is potential memory and or emotional connection. Because Shirley did finally get close to forming a personality right at the end there with Rum, but then failed right at the last minute and dissolved in the debut. But what if she succeeded enough that she maintained some of her memory, or possibly that they always maintain memory once their forms have done? Like, what is the lifespan of a Shadow Master? What happens to their physical forms? Because we haven't really seen an old Shadow living doll, have we? Like, we've seen obviously the kids that we got now. We've seen Edward, who's grown up, as well as some of the rest of them. We've seen older characters, but we've not seen like someone really old. I'm assuming Grandfather is probably the oldest Shadow. But what happens when your living doll is dead? Because I'm assuming the living dolls must age in of themselves. So what happens then? If you no longer have that connection with a living doll, and there's no hope of ever finding another living doll that's exactly like the one you just lost, what happens then? Do you return to Morph and... Because if you do maintain memories of stuff like that, is it possible that Kate may have memorized stuff that happened in her previous life as a Shadow Master? Is that a possibility? Because if we're implying that Shirley might have memory and is still existing, is Kate another one that existed and had memory of previous events and learned everything about the Shadow's house, was removed and has somehow come back? Like, that's where my mind's going with my theory as to where this show might go. It's a bit out there, and I'm basing it off of a lot of assumptions, but that's kind of where my mind's going as to what's going on with Shadow's house and Kate. So I guess we'll see next episode if they want to reveal a lot of it or not, or if they're going to keep it rather ambiguous, as well as if they're going to announce the second season immediately after or not. I kind of hope they do, because I'm very much into the world of this, and I think there's enough source material. Maybe. I hope so. But I guess we'll see. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did. Leave a like if you did, as well as your comments what you thought of the episode. Don't forget to hit subscribe as well to see next week's finale, which should hopefully come out on time. There's a lot of problems right now in my schedule, and the new season is going to be starting, and I'm fairly certain we have a busy Sunday already without having to worry about this show completing, so this might get moved to a Monday for its completion, or maybe some of the new shows get moved to a Monday. I don't know 100% what's going on. I'll double check closer to the time, and I'll be updating everything on Discord so you know exactly what my plans are upcoming as well. So, but thank you for watching. Until next time, see you guys later.